Welcome back. After intense protests, thousands of cab owners and drivers will finally see debt relief with a program aimed to provide a city back guaranteed on restructured loans. Yellow Medallion cab driver John Asmah joins me to discuss the life changing program. John, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
Now, can you just tell me a little bit about the organization New York City Taxi Workers Alliance?
New York City Taxi Workers Alliance represent yellow cab drivers and also including app drivers too, for our interest and to fight for our just causes.
Now, I know that it can be confusing for a lot of people, including myself. Can you just tell us what the difference between a taxi cab medallion owner and like maybe a Uber driver? What are the differences between these type of ride services?
Okay, the difference is that yellow cab taxi cab medallion owner owns a medallion sold by the city. It's an investment. Before Uber came into existence, Uber driver just have a car and they get their orders from Uber. So we are totally two different entities. Uber is based on app, we are street hail, and for better or worse, also app some of the app system. But we have a totally different because of our mortgage of the medallion, which the city holds the lease on it.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about this medallion? Is it actually like a physical thing? Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, yes, medallion is a physical thing. It's that plate that whenever you see a yellow cab, is on top of the hood. That represents the taxi medallion plate, and that plate is what it's all about. And before Uber came into existence, we were the sole street hail moving people, millions of people every day to and from their work and wherever you are from the airport. You know, we're the gatekeeper of the city before Uber came into existence, and it was a plate that was sold to us, it was an investment that the city of New York uh, sold to us as an investment, and we bought into it as operate as a yellow cab medallion.
Wow, thank you
Uber
so much. No, you can continue.
Uber doesn't have that. Uber is just an app system, and Yellow Medallion is it's been in existence since God knows 18 or 1933 or something like that, and it's been the iconic New York City transportation system throughout the years.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say thank you so much for sharing that because I've seen it all the time, but I had
Uh,
no idea like what that meant. So thank you for sharing and kind of letting people know something that we've seen. We kind of know a little bit about what it is.
yeah, and also you see the medallion plate number on that plate. That is the key. That is the catalyst of New York City medallion. Without that, the person is not operating as a New York City medallion.
Now, can you talk a little bit more about why so many of those drivers are facing debt?
Okay, uh, before Uber came into existence, uh, every 4 or 5 years you have to buy a new car, whether the car is still good or not good. And as time goes on, the debt rises based on the cost of operating the medallion. But until Uber came on, we were able to manage it, and everything was fine. But the city of New York and probably the state of New York exacerbated the problem when Uber came into existence, and they gutted the market with close to about 120,000 cars. And because of that, our commitment or the promise that the city made to us that we will be the sole street hail diminished. And we had all this mortgage behind our back. An average mortgage is like a house on our back, and things exacerbated, and And the pandemic also took its turn, and this is where we are now.
Now,
Because in order to operate as a medallion owner, you have to buy this exorbitant medallion plate, and the city was selling them from, I believe, Mayor Giuliani to Bloomberg.
Now, I understand that the average debt is currently over 500,000 with average monthly payments at $3,000. How is this
Yeah.
currently affecting the lives of so many drivers like yourself?
Well, you can imagine, first of all, our bottom line, our way of operation, our street hail has been drastically reduced by the app system, and an influx of 120,000 cars versus 13,500 yellow medallion cab. So if your base of operation or financial base of operation has been drastically taken from you, obviously you won't be able to operate the way you were operating before. And I don't know whether the city thought about it or the state thought about it, that bringing all these things coming in will create more congestion, and it also would diminish the value of the medallion and exacerbate the problem. I mean, it was economics 101, but somewhere along the lines, somebody dropped the ball and they ignore us, and with the fact that we have a mortgage that we have to pay, we have taxes that we have to pay. Our overhead was so astronomical compared to an Uber driver or an Uber driver who can even buy a used car, 5 or 6 or 7 year old used car, and start to operate it the same day. A yellow cab, you can't do that. You have to go and buy the car physically and transform it to the iconic yellow cab, and with the specificity, because taxi and limousine doesn't allow you to choose the car of your choice. They have a certain cars that you have to buy, whether you like it or not. If you want to be in that game, you have to operate. App cars don't have that limitation. They can buy any car, they can buy any used car and start operating. So you are putting two different entities into the same market that you, the taxi and limousine, promise us to do our business, and you have what you call the chaos and unfairness
Now,
in a fair way.
now I understand that drivers have now received the Medallion Relief Program Plus. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that program and what it's offering?
Okay, the Medallion Relief Program is called the MRP. For years, we've been asking for relief based on what has transpired financially. And finally, we are able to reach that milestone from the city. The city of New York has promised. It started with the former mayor, and now our new mayor, Eric Adams, has propelled it to where it is now. And for better or worse, the same Taxi and Limousine TLC has expedited on fast track to a point whereby some of my colleagues will be going for closing on starting on the 19th of this month. And I think about 2,000, almost 2,100 people have already signed up for their closing. And it entails, it's simple, that the city will pick up, the banks will reduce the mortgage, whatever mortgage you have as an individual driver, to $200,000, and the city will grant you $30,000 relief, and for 7.3% for 25 years, and 1234, $1,234 a month for the next 25 years. And once you are approved and you sign this thing, you are set for that. Also, it is guaranteed. Guaranteed means that you will not be liable in case you default. Let's just say after 5 years or something happened to you or something happened to your family, they won't come after your family estate to recover the remaining, balance of the $170,000. So at this stage, we are grateful that the city has recognized our moving forward with this debt forgiveness for yellow cab, because yellow cab is iconic, and it's part of New York. Yeah, our system are here because of technology, but we've been around and we are evolved. And I've never seen anybody that sees a yellow cab and is not happy. I've traveled so many places, and then whenever they see me, it's like the American flag. I'm happy to see you. Take me to point A to point B. They know I will drive you nice and safe to your destination. So the city cannot afford to lose sight of the importance of New York City medallion yellow cabs in our region here, throughout the tri-state, I would say, because we go all over the places. I will add, and
Well,
I've had my share of it.
well, I appreciate, you sharing that with me, John. Thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back with more Open BxRx Tuesday.